Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube and TikTok page. So in today's lesson, we'll be tackling questions from 2025 GCE Commerce Section B, question 6. So we have a table here with answers which should be filled in some of the questions. So we go to question A. Warehouses are run by parastatals and local government. And in there we have bonded, wholesale, public sector, and producer and manufacturer in the answers. So before we put anything here, it's in commerce we have to understand what are parastatals and local government. So the key word here is parastatals. Parastatals, these are government owned or government run organizations which are owned by the government. So examples of parastatals in here we might have Zesco and Zampos, and also Zambia Railways. So like something which is owned by the government, which is the parastatals and local government. So in other words, this is something like it's used by the public or owned by the public, which is the government. So from the five answers we have in the box, we have bonded, wholesale, public sector, producer, manufacturer. So out of this, the answer will be public sector. Public sector. Public sector. Public sector. This is public sector. These are things owned by the government. So these warehouses are owned by the government and run by the government. So question B. Dash warehouses stores variety of goods from different manufacturers. So this, it is out. Public sector is out. So they're telling us these warehouses, they have variety of goods from different manufacturers. So in other words, like they have already ordered maybe clothes, shoes, raincoats that are in the warehouses. Maybe season like hot season, vest, shorts. They're already in the warehouses waiting to be released. Maybe depending with the season of the weather. So like these goods can be released. They are already in store. So these things these are finished goods. So these are the main point here is different manufacturers who has the capacity to store things in the warehouse from different manufacturers. This is an wholesale. It is in a wholesale's warehouse. Maybe when goods are done, they have to go back to the warehouses to get some things. So here on B, the answer was wholesale. Wholesale. These are order things, wholesalers order things in bulk. Then C, dash warehouses as finished goods and raw materials. This warehouse has finished goods and raw materials. So in other words, this warehouse has many things. So we might say this is a manufacturer's warehouse because they're having finished goods and also raw materials. Some of these finished goods will be sold to the wholesaler who buys them in bulk, and other raw materials are waiting to be processed, these raw materials. So this thing, the answer here was manufacturer's warehouse. This is where we get to see finished goods which are waiting to be sold, and also raw materials which are yet to be processed into finished goods. So the answer here was manufacturers. Manufacturers. Then we go to question 7. Question 7. Give 5 reasons for dishonoring a check. So like for those dishonoring can mean like let me say it in the local language. Kuikana. Maikana check. This is refusing or rejecting a check. That's what it means to dishonor. what are the reasons for it which can let a check to be rejected? So one of the reasons, insufficient funds. The person who wrote the check does not have the money in the bank account. Maybe the person might have wrote like, I need 7,000 kwacha to be given to this person. But in the account there's only 1,000 kwacha. Because of that, the check will be disallowed or dishonored because the funds are less inside there. Then the other reason, the second reason, which can be there, it is wrong signature. Wrong signature. The signature on the check doesn't match the one the bank has. So as a result, the bank might think this is somebody who's trying to steal money from the bank, or this one is a fraudster. So as a result, the bank will disallow, will refuse to give the money. Then the other reason, the owner of the account tells the bank not to pay. For example, like somebody gives you a check of 10,000 kwacha to go get the money from the bank. And again, he might call the bank and say, the person who's going to come with a check of 10,000 kwacha, do not give them the money. As a result, the person will be denied the funds because the owner told the bank not to give you the money. That's the other reason. Then stale check. This is what is a stale check? A stale check, this is, for example, each check has an expiry date. For example, from January to February. If I got to the bank with my check in April or June or December, but the check expired in February, the bank will refuse because it is now outdated or it has now expired. The check is taken to the bank after it has expired because there's a period when the check is issued and when you should get the bank. When you delay, the bank will deny you access to those funds. So the fifth reason, the check has been altered. The check has been altered. This means maybe some corrections have been done on the check illegally. Maybe adding extra zeros, rubbing. Maybe the signature looked as if it has been forged. As a result, the bank will become suspicious and refuse or disallow the check. Question 8 states, state a reason, state 4 reasons for communications. So in other words, why is communication very important? So you have to give 4 reasons. So the reason is to promote goods and services when businesses advertise their products and services to customers. So like when you advertise on TV, on radio, you are communicating to the general public. You are trying to tell them, these are the things we have. These are the goods and services. You are communicating to them. Then the other reason, second reason, employers communicate or instruct their employees on what to do. For example, the general manager might tell the employees on what to do. He's communicating to them. He might tell them like, put these things on promotion, do this and that. He's communicating to them. Then the third reason is customer care. This is when the business talks to its customers to answer their question. For example, when you have a query or question, you have to call like the company or shopping mall or whatever business to inquire about their products and services. Then the business starts to talk to you, to tell you like, these are the things which are needed. You are now communicating with the business. They're telling you about their goods and services they offer. Then the other reason for communication, it is transfer information from one department to the next. So for example, like there's a promotion and they need to promote somebody, they need from the transport department so like the general manager has to transfer the information to the transport department saying like, this driver has been promoted or elevated to the position of supervisor. That is communication. Question 9 states, mention three principles of insurance. So insurance has three main principles. It has ultimate good faith. So what is ultimate good faith? Ultimate good faith, this is when the insurer and insurer, they have to be honest when giving out information to each other. So the insurance has to be honest to the person they want to insure. They have to tell them about the terms and conditions of their insurance company. And the insurer has to be truthful to tell the insurance company all the information needed. So to make sure the insurance policy becomes valid, a valid agreement. Then we have insurable interest. What is insurable interest? This is the thing you are insuring. Maybe your house or your car. You have interest in it. Your house, that's where you stay. If your house gets bent, you're going to lose out. You're going to lose out everything, all the property inside there. If it's your vehicle, you're going to you have interest because that is your car you used to maybe to go for work, take your children for work, for school. I mean, when that car gets destroyed, maybe in a road accident, a fire explosion, you're going to lose out because you must. So you're going to get insured because you're having interest in it. So in other words, you cannot insure your neighbor's property because you do not have interest in it. You can only insure something you own and have. Then we have indemnity. Well, you might be asking what the indemnity. That is another principle of insurance. Indemnity means the insured should be compensated only for the actual loss suffered and should not make a profit from the insurance claim. So what do they mean? For example given, your house gets on a fire or your car gets in a road accident, and the total cost for that vehicle was 20,000 kwacha, and it gets destroyed. Mlandu yao na ikamoto kamebe road accident and it was costing 10,000 kwacha. The insurance company will only give you or replace that car and will give you another car which costs 10,000 kwacha, or give you the money for 10,000 kwacha exactly to replace that car. They won't give you more than that. 20,000 kwacha, 40,000. No, because you might end up making profit. They won't give you, because indemnity, you should only be covered for what you have lost, not to make profit. So if the insurance company, although you have your vehicle which was costing 10,000, they cannot reward you 12,000 kwacha because you're going to be making a profit of 2,000 kwacha from that 12,000. So you will only be compensated 10,000 kwacha or be replaced with a car for 10,000 kwacha only. Question 10 states disadvantages of using flyers for advertising. So what are the disadvantages of advertising using flyers? Most flyers are easily ignored. That is the point. Although most flyers, they might be stuck, but they might not reach the target audience. Most people will not bother or pay attention. Then what is? So, David, sorry, at some network breakdown. Let me repeat. Most flyers are easily ignored. So the disadvantage of using flyers for advertising, most flyers are easily ignored because they will not reach the target audience. They might be stuck on those gates, but most people will ignore them. You have a short lifespan. So the other reason, like it is that flyers have a short, for example, they can easily fade, they're easily blown off by the wind, and also like when the rains, it's like they can be easily erased. Like the ink and everything, like will come out from the poster or fly when it rains. Then we have most flyers end up as litter. When they're blown off by the wind, they end up as trash. And the other point is they may not reach the target market because they are given to people who are not interested. For example, you are giving the flyers to somebody, like flyers for vehicles, and that person is not interested. Their only interest is buying a shop. it will not reach. For example, you're given a flyer for vehicles and their only interest is having a house. So it's not reaching the target audience. It's reaching, those flyers are reaching the wrong audience. Thank you very much for joining me today. I believe we have answered most of the questions here in this past question. On this 2025 GCE Commerce exam question. Please like, subscribe, and share. For those who would like to get in touch with me, you can check on my bio and also the profile pic. Those who would like to have online lessons and tuitions, you can get in touch with me using those details. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.